Planned.
Yes.
Do you have anything else?
Oh, I need you to explain to me later how to get to here from the...
To here?
To here from, like, on my computer.
What do you mean to here?
Like this.
You probably don't have it.
I do.
Well, then just find it. Okay, so today we're talking about bisexuality.
Alright, talk then. Because you're the one who was like, my women's studies, we talked about this, and what's your face?
We did not talk about bisexuality in women's
that's right.
studies.
I'm sorry, all of your women's studies people are gay, I get confused.
What constitutes bisexuality? What is the official definition?
So I think you need to elaborate what we're talking about is the difference between physical attraction and emotional attraction.
And if you have one or the other rather than both, does that
it constitute bisexuality?
Yeah. And I think everyone has their own opinion on it. Some people think that if to be a true bisexual, you have to have an exact equal attraction to both sexes, both emotionally and physically / sexually.
Then what would you call a 2 on the Kinsey scale? Not bisexual?
What's a 2 again? That's
like straight.
With incidental.
With more than incidental, because 1 is incidental and 0 is completely heterosexual.
Well, I guess, yeah, if it's more than incidental, I guess I would classify that person as bisexual. Loosely bisexual. Maybe bi-curious, but I think that's more of a 1 on the Kinsey scale.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Kinsey scale? Maybe we should tell them.
I can go pull it up. Curtis! Pretty much it was 0 is...
Completely straight.
Completely heterosexual with no homosexual tendencies. 1 is mostly heterosexual with some incidental homosexuality. 2 is predominantly heterosexual with more than incidental homosexual tendencies. 3 is completely even between
bisexual.
The 2. 4 is mostly homosexual with more than incidental
heterosexual tendencies.
Yeah.
5 is predominantly gay, homosexual, with only incidental heterosexual tendencies / acts or whatever it's referring to. And then 6
is completely homosexual.
You're a big fat homo if you're number 6.
But we love you.
We do. Okay, so
so today we rated ourselves.
We did.
Well, Sophie, I rated her and she rated me.
Yeah, Sophie is a big ol' boring.
That's really heterophobic. We're not boring.
She's a boring.
We just tend not to be
0.
We just tend not to be as much fun.
And then you're just normal. So normal.
I'm a heterosexual woman living in a homosexual world.
Yeah, you are.
I'm surrounded all the time, and they have more fun than me. And it's really upsetting.
Okay.
I need some more heterosexual friends.
You have plenty.
Yeah, but
okay. So Sophie is a perfect 0.
We say, but that makes our friend Vicky a -1. So
Vicky is a -1. She's so straight, it's painful. But also hilarious.
Selena, we said originally was a 4.5, but I think she's a bit gayer than that, so I changed it to a 4.75.
Why is mine so, like, fucked?
Because you're kind of like...
I'm an anomaly?
Yeah.
An enigma?
You're an enigma.
I'm an enigma.
In the words of Mr. Kunis.
Yeah, my teacher called me an enigma.
An enigma.
That's a really hard thing to say when you combine it with N.
An enigma.
An enigma.
Okay, so back on topic we go. So we were talking earlier about, Selena asked me a question about do I think that bisexuality is like emotional and physical attraction, or can you have one or the other to be considered bisexual still?
Yeah, do you have to be emotionally and physically attracted to both sexes to consider yourself, or for others to consider you bisexual?
Mm-hmm.
Which the others, who the fuck cares what they think they should classify you as, because it really only matters what you feel comfortable identifying as. But what are you doing?
Coming to sit here, it's better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, ultimately, no matter what the wider community thinks, it really only matters what you feel comfortable classifying yourself as or identifying as. It doesn't really matter, like, if you've had relationships with both men and women in the past and you prefer to call yourself gay, then fine. If you prefer to identify as bisexual, if you prefer to identify as straight, it doesn't really matter as long as you're comfortable. But I guess, like, scientifically speaking, we were wondering...
Scientifically speaking?
Yeah.
I think it was more just for the sake of discussion.
Well,
you wanted
like,
to know what
is
I
there...
thought.
I just want to know if there's actually a proper classification of bisexual.
And what I said was that as a Kinsey 0 straight girl, I don't really experience any difference between, like, for me, not for all straight people, I'm not going to speak for them, but for me, I find someone's personality a lot more, like, important for my attraction to them than their outward appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I find that when they have a good personality that I'm attracted to, that heightens my attraction to them physically.
Yeah, I would say that as well, because as far as my sexuality goes, I would say that I am predominantly emotionally attracted to women. I am physically attracted to men, but my emotional attraction to women heightens my physical attraction to them.
Yeah. So... I forget what my point was. Oh, my point was that for me, I originally said that someone who is bisexual, for me, I would say that they should be emotionally and physically attracted, because I've never, like, I don't know what it means to be, like, to have a difference. Like, I don't know what it means to be attracted to some, like, one gender one way and another gender another way. Like,
yeah.
For me, that...
Like, we were talking earlier about, I have a straight friend who says, she's so straight, by the way, so straight, but she claims to be emotionally attracted to women, just because she feels like she can identify with them emotionally more, which, frankly, is bullshit, because I've dated girls that I cannot figure out at all. Everyone is so different regardless of their sex or gender that that's kind of, I don't know, for me it's a moot point. But anyway, what else were we talking about? Oh, right. We were talking about dating bisexuals.
Oh, right. That's why.
And I'm interested to know from you guys if you would be more comfortable dating a bisexual who is emotionally attracted. Okay, let's say you're in a gay relationship, so either a guy dating a guy or a girl dating a girl. If your partner is bisexual, would you feel more comfortable or less threatened if that person was emotionally attracted to the opposite sex or physically attracted to the opposite sex? And I really don't know.
I would say emotionally.
Emotionally, yeah.
Just because, like, for me, like, when I'm not in a relationship, it's really easy for me to be physically attracted to someone without, like, at a party or something.
I would agree.
And hook up with them. But it doesn't really mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, if I was in a relationship and thinking, like, on the basis of if they cheated on me,
Mm-hmm.
I would be so hurt if they cheated on me with someone that they had an emotional connection with.
Yeah.
That, like, they felt something.
For sure.
Or, like, someone they just hooked up with because they thought they were hot. Like, that would hurt me a lot less.
But when we're talking about bisexuality, it's not necessarily that they already like somebody else. It's just their potential.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I would be more comfortable because I would know, like, the risk for me would be lower.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like, the risk would be lower if I knew they couldn't hurt me as much.
Yeah, but that doesn't really have anything to do with sex or gender. That's just if they find somebody else who they're emotionally attracted to, that's obviously horrible if you're in a relationship with them. It doesn't really matter.
Well, just, like, as an answer,
like,
to the question, that's what I would say, because
emotionally?
I feel less threatened and less vulnerable.
I think